Let's talk about designing numbers go up games. This is a vague and dismissive term for a huge variety of games. Sure, casual games and cookie clickers, but also factory games and the most labyrinthine RPGs, and even some of those open world adventure games have been called numbers go up games. If you reward the player with a number going up, then that's a numbers go up game. But the thing is, this is not a meaningful term from the player perspective. It's sort of like saying that a game is a third-person game. Yeah, sure, it's technically true, but the player doesn't play it because of that, and they don't avoid it because of that. That's just part of the game. Numbers go up is a method of communicating progress to the player. Nothing more, nothing less. So when we talk about numbers go up games, the player doesn't generally care whether it's a numbers go up game or not, but the dev does, because this is a method of communicating with the player, so it's absolutely critical to know how to use that channel of communication. Let me give you a simple example. You're on a road trip, you're driving around with your buds or whatever, and you're going down the road, and oh look, a mile went by, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, so exciting, the number is going up. But of course, you're not driving down the road to make your mile counter go up. You're driving down the road because you have to get somewhere, and the road is how you get there. Your considerations are things like, how fast are you going? How safe are you being? Who's with you? How much gas do you have? Do you need to stop somewhere to take a pee break? Do you have a spare tire? How much traffic is there? These considerations are what make the road trip, along with things like, stopping along the way to see cool sights or whatever. The numbers going up tells you that you're making progress, assuming you're going the right direction, but it's not the point of the road trip. If you play road trip style games like, say, Euro Trucker, the same thing happens. Yeah, your mileage goes up, but you're not playing the game to make your mileage go up. You're playing the game because there's a road and you want to go down it. So every time you see a numbers go up game, what you're seeing is the devs trying to communicate with the player in an extremely crystal clear way. You see that number? You see how it goes up? That's what you want to do. You want to make this number go up. And the player's like, yes, I'll make that number go up. And so they get on the road and they drive, and hey, look at all of these systems that have now been engaged because you've been told to make that number go up. That's the beating heart of numbers go up gameplay. When you gain HP, permanent HP by leveling up in an RPG, yeah, your numbers are going up. Did your attack go up? Yeah, your numbers are going up. But these are ways to tell you how to move forward in the game. The reward isn't simply that your numbers are going up. The reward is that you can now make more progress on the systems behind these numbers. You can now take on new enemies, and the old enemies are easier. Numbers going up is simply a way to communicate with the player, this is how you move forward. These are the things you should value. Even in a cookie clicker style game where you just, click the cookie to make the number go up, even then, you're not clicking the cookie to make the number go up. You're clicking the cookie to make progress towards the next story beat, where you get to make the number go up in a different way. It's telling that all of the successful clicker games have funny and intricate stories. As you click the cookie, it turns into, this bizarre universe where everything in the universe is entirely disassembled and made into cookies or something. It's a story. You're clicking on the cookie to make your number go up, but that number going up is how you get your story. That's the whole point. So when we talk about numbers going up, what we're really talking about is a method of communicating with the player. This is how the player will know which direction to go, what matters in your game. It's not the only way to do it. Lots and lots of games have non-numbers go up methods of communicating with the player. In fact, lots of numbers go up games use other methods of communicating as well. For example, if you've got a fighting game, maybe you've got a sword, hurrah, and you swing that sword at a monster. What happens? Generally speaking, if you just see a number pop up over the monster's head, you're not going to be too thrilled, even if that number goes up. What you really want to see is, oh, did he dodge? Did he get hit? How did he react? What's going to happen next? You get that physical response to the swing of your sword. That's how this kind of game generally communicates with its players. If you go into a building and you flip on a light switch, the lights turn on. That's the method that the game has to tell you that this building has power and this building can be explored and so on and so forth. There are 1,000 ways, maybe even more, to communicate with the player and tell them what makes sense in your world and where they should be focused. Numbers are by far the cheapest. So if you are worried about cost, you can't get much cheaper than a number going up. But that doesn't mean that your gameplay is numbers going up. The numbers going up is just a way to communicate to the player where they should be focused. That's it.